Hey everybody, this is Jerome B.F.A.M cooking. You know what this is. Not another cooking recipe. This is going to be an opportunity for us to interview some people that I have been working with for a while now. These ladies are well, they're in France, but they're from the United States. The most important thing is that you should know is that they're special enough for me to bring them on and bring them to you.
My name is Makenna, and along with my husband Chris, I founded a cooking school in Julia Child's cottage in France.
Walking into Julia Child's kitchen the first time, I could cry now.
You just want to practice seeing if you can get that flip. My executive chef, teaching partner, and dear friend is Kendall.
There is no right way and there is no wrong way. I'm going to try to give you a more approachable way so you're actually going to want to do this at home.
Along with her husband Ross, we all work together at the school, tucked in the hills of Provence.
Merci, au revoir.
But this is not your average cooking school.
We're rebels without a cause.
Here, there are no recipes, no measuring cups. What we do here is not how anyone else in the world teaches. We throw numbers out the window.
I am so ready to cook.
No hard and fast rules.
That was...
Julia believed that cooking should be joyful. And so do I. The magic's in you.
Yay!
The food is changing my life.
Summer in France. Figs, cheese, wine. Sounds like a good thing. But, ladies, how you doing?
Good, how are
Good.
you?
Nice to see you, Jerome.
I'm great. So, Makenna and Kendall, how is things going in that country? I'm ready for some more cheese.
Yeah. Things are going great in this country. We just had some creme fraiche and fresh vegetable fritters for lunch, and we're sitting out here on a gorgeous fall day talking to you.
Speaking of cheese, it's Mont d'Or season. That's probably what we're having for dinner tonight.
Yeah.
Some melted Mont d'Or.
And it's incredible. We call it baked melty, and you pierce it with some shallots and garlic and wine and rosemary, and you bake it in the oven until it's all gooey and perfect, and you dip a bunch of bread and crudité in it.
And it requires a very important song, which is I Like It When You Call Me Big Melty.
That's great, ladies. So please tell
Big Melty.
Big Melty. Wow. Tell us a little bit about the school, how you guys came into existence. I remember reading a story a ways back, and I mean, I think it's from my trip to Paris. My wife and I went there and hung out, and I think we lost weight. I don't know how we did that, but we ate really, really good baguettes and cheese and champagne grapes. And I've always wanted to return. I'm like, but we can't go back to Paris. I mean, we've already done Paris. We need to do something different. And that's why I was looking at your place. This is prior to COVID, of course, and everybody was like, oh, we got to go someplace that's secluded and small, but I got to go someplace with a pool, because that's my wife's requirement. So tell us a little about yourselves and about the school.
Awesome. Well, I'm Makenna, and I am one of the owners of Pitchoune, which is the house I'm sitting in front of. And I bought it in 2015, closed on it in 2016, and opened the Courageous Cooking School in 2017. And in 2018, yes, in 2018, or 17.
Well, I don't know where you're going with these 20 teens right now.
I met Kendall at the Cordon Bleu in Paris, and convinced her over many years to come work with me.
And here we are.
Yeah, and here we are in 2021.
Yeah.
Two.
Oh my God.
Jesus. It's 2022.
2022, yes.
Almost 2023. So
Kendall, please.
Yeah, so hi, I'm Kendall, and I have been a chef my entire life since I was 14 years old. I started cooking. I've done everything from fishmongering to...
Did you come out of the womb with a knife?
No.
Your whole life?
Yeah, I wish so. My whole career.
Moment.
My whole career has been in kitchens, and I've done everything in the kitchen, every position. And then I've also been a professional butcher of a butcher shop in Charleston, South Carolina. And then I've been running in Michelin stars for the last 5 years here in France, before I've come over to join forces with Makenna and take a little break from the kitchen and start my teaching career. And
in a kitchen, though.
Professional kitchens.
Correct.
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
take a break from a restaurant.
Yeah, professional kitchens. And now we are running the school together and building a whole brand, basically. So it's a
so
great
you're-
Kendall and Eileen brand.
yeah.
Yeah, so you're not only running a brand, but you've done some different things. I'm taking your online class because obviously I can't be in France every day. At least that's what my life tells me. I can only visit virtually. Tell us about the online class.
The online cooking school was birthed out of the pandemic, where
Sort of. I mean, we've been building an online school for a long time. We were building
the
behind
lives
scenes.
and stuff. I mean, more so just it's been on the back burner for them for a long time because of how busy things were, and before the pandemic they were booked out in full. And so once the pandemic hit, it seemed like the perfect time to take care of that. So Makenna started doing lives fairly regularly and building an online community. And then when I came on board, we locked down here at La Peach November of 2021.
No, 2020.
2020?
Yeah, 2020. Okay. We were back in
See,
business.
we're back in this whole, we don't know what year it was.
What day is it? How can you know anymore?
I don't know either. I don't know either. I mean, my regular day job basically puts me exactly where I am right now, in the basement. That's basically every day I come down 3 levels and I'm in the basement. So.
And you don't know what time of day it is?
I have no idea. I have the windows blacked out down here, so it's literally, I have no idea what time of day it is at all. So it's like when you have online cooking. I'm sorry.
I said it was like when I used to work in the cooler. I used to work in a walk-in cooler at the butcher shop, and you get time warped. But anyways, I was saying that the cooking school, we kicked it into high gear when we were all locked down here that November. We couldn't really go anywhere, so we filmed hundreds of hours of footage, of the overhead footage, to start getting the curriculum going. And between Chris, Makenna, and I have built a really awesome, full-blown curriculum that we're still continuing now to do more of. We actually are in process of shooting.
Yeah, we're shooting this week.
This week.
Our break from. I just have a Zoom camera in front of me instead of a normal camera.
Yeah, so we're shooting currently right now, and we are expanding the online school. We're actually interviewing, after I get off this call with you, interviewing more teachers and more people to join us in our mission to deliver recipe-free cooking into your home and into your life.
Every day.
Every
day.
The
goal is 3 times a day, to have 3 classes a day.
Wow. Yeah. So that is the thing that brought me to you, was you were talking about this concept of no recipes. And I'm thinking, what that is unique. You went to a person who actually wrote basically the gospel Bible of French cooking, which is a stack of recipes, to, we've got so many different recipes out of this house. Why don't we not use any recipes at all? Please tell me a little bit about that.
Totally, and that's exactly why I went recipe-free here, is because I didn't know whose recipes to teach, because I couldn't teach Julia's. Julia Child wrote beautiful recipes, but they don't translate that well back to France. It's just very much Coles to Newcastle. You're taking France to the US to bring US back to France, with a big time difference, like a big cultural time differential between the 1960s and 70s in the United States versus modern France. And it was a way to actually, I think a lot of people find it offensive that that's what I did, and they take it personally, but I actually saw it as a better way to honor Julia than to take someone else's recipes and throw them into her kitchen and teach some haphazard French curriculum that's not all that interesting. And so we went and spent the first few years trying to figure out how you actually codify how deliciousness happens. This is something that chefs constantly struggle with explaining. It's something that when I asked Kendall, how do you make decisions about flavor combinations? Well, I just do. Yeah. Or I just know what's delicious. Oh, I've watched chefs for years and years, and I've practiced, and I've had mistakes, and I knew there had to be a way to explain it. And so we just taught recipe free for 3 years with no codification or framework. And then the pandemic really allowed myself and Chris, my husband, who's a librarian and curriculum designer, that's what he has degrees in, and he and I sat down and really figured out what makes deliciousness work and make sure that we could explain it in a universal way that was culturally neutral, could be used for any recipe, any non-recipe, and really create something delicious. Either make a recipe more delicious or create something from nothing and make it delicious without having to Rolodex hundreds of ingredients in your head.
It's
So what you're saying?
why.
Say again?
It's explaining the why.
Without science.
Yeah, it's just breaking down what you're already doing for people who don't cook. You know, that person who's like, oh, well, I don't cook with recipes. Great. Can you tell me how you did what you just did? And now it's explaining the why for everybody and the how. Yeah.
Well, that's the reason why I'm taking the class, because I'm always curious as to why would lime work in this case over something else. You know, the recipes, the formula, the creation that my grandma used to make is how I want to get into the kitchen and do something that is good. Because all I can remember is my grandmother used to make X, and it was always delicious. And I don't think she ever cracked open it. I know she didn't have a cookbook in the house, for sure. That's for sure. Encyclopedia she had, cookbook no. It's a whole collection of encyclopedias. But yeah, you guys mentioned your husband. So Chris, and then you had you didn't mention Ross much, but I assume that Ross is.
I was just talking about my career. I wouldn't talk about my personal life, but yes, I have been married to Ross for 4 years now. I've been together for 10. We both hail from Florida, southwest coast of Florida. I'm from Sanibel Island originally, and him from Fort Myers. And he is definitely the jack of all trades man, and works. He can fix anything, do pretty much anything. He's been a huge help. And then he also has taken a little tour into the life of restaurants. He actually worked in the Michelin star with me that I was a sous chef at for a couple years, and worked in the wine cave there with this amazing Assam natural wine cave. And we got really deep into that over the last 5 years together. And so now that has become a huge life passion and the career for him, along with being a professional welder. And so he's a wine and welder, and he's an artist, so he likes to do all of it for art as well. So he's actually now the facilities manager for the company, between the house that we're starting a farm at, the restaurant that we've just bought, and La Peach itself, while designing the beverage program for each of those places as well.
That's outstanding. But you said your private life. I didn't want to touch your private life. The only reason I brought up those two gentlemen was that they're starring with you on a TV show. So that isn't something that is really private anymore. Sorry, ladies.
No, I said personal.
Personal.
I didn't say private. I said personal. You're definitely not going to hear my private life. You don't want
to. So tell us about the TV show. I mean, this is. I'm so happy for you that you've made not only do you have the online, the in presence, but now you're reaching out on Discovery, HBO Max, and my favorite Magnolia, all rolled up into one. I mean, generally, I think one of your children is named Magnolia. Is that, I do that on purpose?
No, I mean, yes, my daughter is named Magnolia, but that's just happenstance that we weren't gunning for a show. The network didn't exist when I was pregnant.
I named my first child after you.
So that would be weird. I mean, I'm sure people have done that, but
yeah,
absolutely, we do.
It's still a little like, oh, we have a TV show. Still a little fresh for us and new, even though we filmed it, our proof of concept, over a year ago, and then we filmed for 6 weeks this spring into early summer, and it was a great experience, way better than we could have asked for, and it was really fun. We got to work with some really great people, and it is a TV show about the 4 of us in France, cooking in France.
Yep, it's called La Pitchoune Cooking in France. It is exactly what it is. It is a slice of our life, a slice of living in France. It's this really cool immersive experience that really takes you to our cooking school and really dives you into the experience of what it's like to be here. And we really just hope you learn one thing each episode. That's our only goal. Just like when we're at La Peach, we say learn one thing each day. That's really all we care about. The rest is like gravy. So if you can really learn one thing that can change how you cook each day, if you go home with 5 things during a week with us, that's huge.
Yeah.
And if you can go through from the show and learn one thing that you can take to your own home kitchen that just completely shifts how you cook, that's all we can ask for.
Yeah. And we've been getting so much great feedback, and people after the first episode went home and made omelets for the first time in their life. And I still have friends sending me pictures of omelets, and I've had over 15 people now privately message me about how they never will cut an onion the same. I mean, we're talking 20 seconds of onion cutting. on a TV show, is changing people the way that they've been cutting onions for 30 years. So I'm like, for me, I'm just over the moon about how this is reaching into people's lives and homes, and it's just really been special for us and our whole team and the boys. We've all just grown so much together over this experience and are so much more solidified in our next steps and how we want to move forward and how actually altering this recipe-free thing can be, and the opportunity for the future of being able to really kick this up a notch and make it into a way of living. It's not just recipe-free cooking; it's a recipe-free lifestyle, and that's really what we do here and how we live our lives.
Absolutely.
Well, the thing I love about it, as a person who really wants to attend in person, I want to be able to smell France through the TV. That's basically what I'm interested in. I mean, the puppy visiting, I love. You know, and now that you guys have basically adopted him and put him on the
right now. He's here right now. He lives around here somewhere.
Right. He's gonna have his own show soon. I know that's coming out.
That's so funny. I just said that to someone the other day. They're like, "In that dog?" I'm like, "He's got his own spinoff coming out." Pitchoune. Yeah, Pitchoune at Pitchoune, not Pitchoune.
You know, it's great to get a window into where Julia, was. And I feel like you're cooking in hollow grounds, which is phenomenal. And I really love the experience of seeing the two of you banter together, because personality-wise, you're very unique, extremely unique. Right?
Matilda. She's the
wilding around. Hello. So, to see the interaction between yourselves and your families, and just trying to get make the day work by putting up a chicken coop, and worrying about the basics of having a life in France that is so unique. And I love the visiting.
Yeah.
So girl power is one of your big things, or from my research, it seems to be one of the things you guys are living in. It's like girl here doing the thing. I mean, I'm one of 8. I'm from a really large family, 6 sisters. So you can just imagine I'm very very focused.
I'm the youngest of 5 women. Yeah, and then I got 2 more sisters from Ross, so I have 6 sisters. So I am as into that whole bred from the feminine world but not feminine from the sisterhood in a sense. And an only child, so it's a really funny mismatch with us. And now
Absolutely.
I'm her sister daughter wife is what we are.
Yes.
So we call each other
sister daughter wife.
But we definitely. It's also more of women leading in the business world. I think is really big for Makenna. She's also a business coach. She's very modest. She doesn't like to talk about all the spoons and the pots that she's got going on. I was gonna say rings in the fire, but I wanted to do something more food related.
Yes. I noticed that from my research on Makenna, that you got a lot of extra stuff going on there that's in the background. So let me make sure I got some of these professions correct. So we went to cooking school. Why? Because you were doing so much other stuff. I have no idea. Right? Author, motivational coach? Is that right?
Yeah, so I'm a business mentor. I coach business owners to make more money. It's really, in a way that really is attached to their value system, and in a way that brings value to who they work with and not just value to their shareholders.
And you're working on a new cooking book, which I'm trying to dig into. Right? You come from a place where, if I remember correctly, not showing my age, but Mork and Mindy was from originally.
Oh, yep. I'm from Boulder. Yep.
Boulder, Colorado.
From the land of Mork and Mindy.
The land of Mork and Mindy. That's giving my age away a little bit, but hey, it is. Right? You've been dabbling in all different types of opportunities to grow a business and become a business leader, CEO, which you obviously are. And Kendall, you've been working on a recipe alongside. Are you doing the same book, or are you doing your own?
I'm helping her with her book.
Okay. And you're doing your own restaurant, which is what I really intended on saying. Is that what stirring that up? Tell me a little.
Yeah, we just actually signed for a little restaurant here in Grasse, nearby where the Peach is and where we live. That just kind of came out of nowhere and was just too good of a deal to pass up. And we've been talking about doing this. This
a 5-year plan?
Yeah.
5 years from now. Season 3 or 4 of the show, if it happens, right? Like, crossing fingers. We don't even know if a season 2 will happen yet, but keep watching.
Fingers across, ladies.
Watch. Positive reviews on IMDb, all that helps. But we really thought it was like a 5-year plan. We thought we'd really focus on launching the cookbook, building social media, and then eventually find a restaurant.
Yeah. And and maybe it wouldn't even be, we really didn't know what it looked like yet. And I was planning on going more the pop-up route because that's something I'm super passionate about, and just like not marrying yourself to concepts or doors. I've worked in 16 restaurants, opened 5 and closed 3. So, I mean, I've really seen like the ins and outs and the guts and all the different owners. And I've lived in so many different cities and dealt with so many different types of people and chefs and types of food. And just, I've really, at such a young age, I've seen what works and what doesn't. And I really wanted to bring that into my own personal cooking and being able to do what I want, when I want, and where I want. And there is a huge movement of that happening right now in the restaurant world and the culinary world, all over the States, all over Europe. So that was more of the route we were going. And then
we also feel an attachment to our new community. We actually live together. This is like, we all live together.
5.
Yeah. So there's this huge 17th century old olive mill.
Yes.
That
they live in an apartment upstairs. I live in the house downstairs. So they live in like a detached apartment, basically.
Yeah.
And we kind of fell in love with the community of Grasse and really felt like it could use some more restaurants and felt like it could use a night spot. There isn't that much. It's going through this huge resurgence, and we wanted to be a part of that. And the restaurant happened to be there, and we went from wanting to be completely untethered to willing to be tethered, which I think is a shock to both of us.
Yeah.
but I'm really glad that you are, because when I'm looking at this vacation opportunity you guys are offering, I'm like, well, first off, I think 5 days is a little short for me. It would definitely need to be definitely longer. If I'm coming across the pond, first day is a waste.
We suggest to people to come a couple days before or after.
Absolutely.
Kind of loop in trips. It's nice for clients, for everyone who's going to watch this. It's nice for when you kind of been here for 3 or 4 days in the time zone before you come to us, because the school is a school.
It is not a tour group.
It is not a tour group.
This is a huge misnomer.
Yeah, it's not lounging by the pool for 6 days. There is lounge time. There is a beautiful pool. It is Provence. You do a lot of great things in the region. It's not just here the whole time, but it is a school and it is a cooking school, and you are busy for the 5 days. So we always suggest to people either tack something on the beginning or the end.
Yeah.
The
best way to explain it is it's like being in one of those intensive 1-week courses in college, right? Where you might get 1 or 2 credits. It's not, you don't get your full credits, where there's pre-work and you get to party with your friends during in between classes, and you might get to hang out because you're in a cool place, and then you get to continue your education after. That really is what it is. It is not a tour vacation. It is a cooking school experience, we built it that way on purpose because there's so many tour groups out there. But I know for a lot of people that type of vacation isn't relaxing. Yeah. That's not relaxing for me either. I want a mix. I like the mix of it being relaxing and I'm learning something and I'm doing things, but I'm not get up and go and in a tour bus each and every day. That doesn't work for me. And so I really built something that I think is kind of a hybrid. You learn something, you get to relax, you get to experience a new place in a really beautiful, deep way.
One thing I want to make very clear about Makenna and I, and the boys as well, Chris and Ross would agree. We like to create things that we like to do.
Yes.
The restaurant, the online, the in-person, all of these things that we are building. It's we personally would do them ourselves, right? Because we've created an environment. I do not teach things that I do not like myself. I'm not going to do something and just fake it for someone, or we're not going to create an experience that, doesn't please us. We hang out all week with our guests and we love it. It's great. Cooking school. We've been out of cooking school season for 3 weeks now. And I miss it. I'm where's my lamb and my people? And I want to get back in. So it's really special what it is, because there's really not much else like it. And then of course you have the Julia Child aspect that, is really important for a lot of people, but not everyone. Yeah, but also, it's not a mausoleum, it's not a shrine. We have a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
We honor her in the sense that we're courageous women in food, and we leave it at that. And those who want to, you get to cook in her kitchen, and or maybe you're someone that's didn't follow her as closely, and you still love the recipe-free part. We get a mix and match of all kinds of people.
Absolutely.
Well, I really love that you are doing both, that you have the ability to be in the hallowed grounds, as I keep saying, but just the ability. My question really is more about the surrounding areas. We don't know much about. I mean, obviously, I'm hyper focused on your place, but the surrounding environment is a question for me. And obviously, you're tied to the environment due to the fact that you can't move the house. Okay, so no matter how you do it, you're in that spot. So.
Especially like today, I was driving into work today, and I was literally like a poetry drive. Like, I feel like I should just be like being read poetry in the sun somewhere, like in a field, like
while drinking wine.
Yeah, like it was just so
like a prairie dress.
Exactly. Like this time of year is gorgeous. But from someone that's lived in multiple locations in France, I was really taken aback with this. Only happened because I came here to take this job. I probably would never have moved to the Riviera if not. But you really get the best of all the worlds here. You are where we are in Grasse. We're 30 minutes from the Med, 30 minutes from the Prealps. We have lakes, we have rivers, we have mills, and we have local purveyors, and we have markets, and then you have Nice, and then you're an hour from an hour from Italy. An hour from Italy, 3 hours from Turin, 4 hours from Milan.
It's very idyllic here. Yeah. And really, the best time to visit here is not summer. There's this belief system like, the Riviera in summer. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. But there are two types of weather in this area. There is hot, which is July and August. And when I say hot,
it's hot.
40 years ago, maybe it wasn't as hot. Like, I don't know historical figures, but it's hot here in July and August.
I'm a Floridian.
It's hot. It's like 97 plus degrees from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. because the sun does not set until 10:30 and it rises at 6. It's hot. So that's the one.
Texas weather.
Temperature. Yep. And then the second temperature is good luck. And it can look like this in November. It can be raining. Yesterday it was like
raining all day.
And today it's beautiful and sunny. And that's really the best time to be here. That's when the produce pops. That's when it's so gorgeous. You get this like beautiful light.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little bit hard for me to like not be in the dapple.
Can't move now. I was in it before, and now you're in it.
You're gonna have to move that way again. Excuse me. We're
trying to get a little bit out of the dapple here. We want to show you the dapple, but not like be the dapple.
Embody the dapple.
But it's really an interesting reason. And what the best part about it is that we're still discovering it. Until about 2 years ago, Makenna was back and forth. They were seasonally living here. Until about 2 years ago, I had only been here to visit you twice. So we are still always discovering, and they've done so much research, and we're all very kind of gun-ho people of like, okay, let's go drive an hour away. Let's go see this. Let's go see that. Let's discover the region. And you're constantly finding new things all the time. And it's really neat.
Yeah.
It sounds absolutely fantastic. And I can't wait to be there.
We can't wait to welcome you.
Yeah. It's going to be fun to hang out with you ladies. So I just wanted to wrap this up and make sure that I give you guys enough time to pull yourself together for your evening. I guess it is now. Is that right?
No, afternoon. Oh yeah. We still have,
we got interviews.
Yeah, a whole work day.
Filming.
Yeah.
More filming, more interviews, and hopefully season 2. That's what's important. Yeah. Bringing that extra little stuff. Is there anything that you want to tell me about besides what you've already told me about that you can tell me about what's happening in the future?
Yeah, we have a lot of fun stuff coming up in the future. Here on the property, we have gone into our bespoke rentals. What are we calling that actually?
Catered vacations.
Catered vacations. So you can come instead of what was before just Airbnb style rental to get to come to Julia's house. Now you can come with on-site, basically concierge catered by me and or Makenna and or another highly qualified chef. And you get,
For now, it's us. We can't make promises.
Well, you're talking about the future, so.
The future.
This next summer and the summer after that, definitely us. But in 5 years, who knows what's going to happen.
Knows?
But we are in the process of building a team right now. Because at the end of the day, guess what? We can't do it all.
Nor should you attempt to.
The people that we will bring on will be very much the same vision.
Or better.
Exactly. Share the same vision and the same desires as us. And we are a very tight-knit, like we said, family. We all live together. We work together. This is not just a normal work environment. Like, you need to be, on the same page. But so we have the bespoke rentals that are being offered summer and fall in the future, correct?
Yep.
And then also we will have the restaurant coming sometime this next year. So keep your eyes out.
And starting in next year, we're going to be adding an experience called Cook Camp, which will be about 6 weeks a year where you can come and stay on the domain and get a little taste of the cooking school at a much lower price point. And really and it'll give you the online cooking school and the mini vacation kind of together. It won't be as hands-on. You won't be with us all day, every day. You'll still get some lessons here and there. And it's an opportunity for people who don't want to be in a group and who don't want to have kind of their hand held through their vacation. It's a great opportunity to be able to go do your own thing, run around in your own car, but also still have us around.
Yeah, you'll still get a dinner from us. You'll still get a cooking class from us. You'll still get to see the kitchen. You'll still get to see the house.
Yeah.
You'll still get the wine from Raw. It's a very much like you still get the history from Chris. You get all the little things from each one of us, but
a little less fire.
Yeah, exactly. It's less of the cooking school experience. So that will be another thing offered. And then also with the cooking school online and in general, our really big future goals as of now, besides writing cookbooks together and being able to explain all of this on, in paper, in print, is to make the Courageous Cooking School for everybody and for people who maybe don't have the money or the time to spend $80,000 on culinary school,
or want to try it on working in kitchens first and gaining skills simultaneously before they make that commitment to see if it's a good fit.
Opening up scholarship programs, and then also opening up what I like to call residency chef programs. So for the restaurant, having this space nearby like this and having a professional kitchen like that is going to just open up so many other opportunities for us to be able to be like, hey, you're not sure if you want to be a chef, or you're not sure what you want to do, you don't want to go to college, you come with us and you're here for 6 months and you take the school and you work for me, and it's like we want to be able to open this up to not just people who are going on vacation and want to cook. We want to open this up to so much more. Like, we really think that this could be one of the new ways to learn how to cook without having to do a formal training.
And having mentorship along the way, and also really thinking about new ways to engage in equitable hospitality. Hospitality has a long history of inequity, and figuring out creating a coalition of business owners that are deeply committed to equitable relationships, equitable pay, equitable hours, equitable treatment, because there's been a lot of problems in the food world around that, and really creating a coalition around that that's committed to changing the game of how food is taught, how food is served, how hospitality is delivered, so that it's a thriving industry rather than this thing that oftentimes misuses people, which it does. There's this and there's a long history of that, long into American past, especially.
And that's the really big picture, since you asked. But there's a lot more coming from us in the following years once we kind of get these other things lined up. We have a much bigger appetite than most people would think. So there's a lot to be looking forward to, and definitely
bouncing around in Julia Child's house.
Exactly. There's a lot going on here. But definitely stay tuned and follow us on Instagram. Is definitely the best way to keep track of us on the Peach or our personal accounts. Makenna is now on Substack doing weekly newsletters. And then also her cookbook will be coming out 2024. So that, and then we potentially are going to be writing books together in the future. So lots of hope and fingers crossed. So everyone just cross their fingers for us, and we'll see what happens.
Definitely, we got the fingers crossed. That's for sure.
And Chris's album just came out.
Chris's album just came out.
Yeah, that's like a big thing that we're like, whoa! I'm like, what else exciting things are happening? I'm like, oh,
we do a lot around here.
Chris just had
Chris is a musician and just released his first album too. That's episode 4, so that'll be in episode 4 of La Pitchoune Cooking Experience.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
What alert?
Don't watch any further. I know. I'm just
spoiler his album.
I just wanted to say it.
No.
I haven't got to say it yet.
Well,
Joe, I have a question for for you.
So, yeah, please.
Yeah. What have you found most interesting about our method? I'm super curious.
So to me, it's always been the reason why I'm taking your class online is to find out the whys. So like, in my case, you only know what you know, meaning that I've taken a large amount of classes. I'm participating in a lot of online services, right? And this is because it's something that I share my love with through food. So I always want to be the go-to person for, how you can get something done. So to me, first off, I didn't know what the alternate name for onions. It sounds technical, right? But just the combinations of even the spices that you guys were talking about, right? That I actually won in some offering. I forgot what the actual thing was, right? And black lime. I was like, what is black lime? But it is so tasty in so many different things.
I know.
I'm like, let me just try this.
I mean, we are literally the Spice Girls.
Spice Girls, yeah. That's basically what. Yeah. Yeah, I already know who's scoring spices.
It's really a spice palette development. What you and I have been working on that.
Yeah, so I have actually 2 spice drawers and another cabin full of spices, but I don't use them all. I don't even know what they're used for. Obviously, in my world, the thing that you guys generally stay away from is the salt and pepper thing. Salt and pepper. So in one class that I had taken at ICE, which is Culinary, International Culinary Education in the city.
Yeah.
The first thing they taught me that just blew my mind was about toasting your own spices. Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So with you guys, we spent the whole course on just dealing with different combinations of spices that I would never have touched. And I mean, never. So to me, I love that you guys are allowing the students to drive the course and ask the questions about. So what do I do with this? I have that puree that I bought that it's new. Miso. Oh yeah, you remember? Yes, I still have a lot of it in there.
Soybeans, right?
I don't use. I've heard of it. I was like, I don't know what to do with this. That's why I don't buy it. So you guys have given me liberty to and not that I didn't have it before, but I just never had a reason to buy miso and keep it in the house.
Yeah, sure.
That's just not a African American spice that you would use. It's not
a spice.
Yeah,
it's not a spice.
Yeah,
but it does have flavor though. It is a flavor.
It's umami. It's from our umami lesson. It's umami. It's a actual.
It's a sensation of the mouth.
Yeah.
But
sensation in the mouth.
Taste bud.
So I'm now. I ordered from Amazon Bonita. I'm working on combining different things to see how that would work in the rest of the recipes that I'm dealing with. So I currently I would do stuff like making what's my favorite thing that my father used to love? Chicken. What is it? Chicken pot pie. So I'm doing different types of pot pies, right? So I have a seafood pot pie that I'm not using that in.
Nice.
I've never been exposed to that or that combination. I would have substituted some type of seafood broth and just made it from shells of whatever I was cooking. So that ability to learn from you guys about or giving me the permission to use those things is why I'm in the class, learning the whys, why this goes together with that. And I'm going to mess it up because the alternate name for onions, alliums. You guys love saying that and use it in everything.
Yep. Well, alliums is all of them, though. It's not just onions. Onion, shallot, garlic, like everything. It's there.
Alliums contain allicin.
I was expecting more dancing from you guys on your show too, just so you know, because I figured that's what you're.
There's so much dancing, they just can't. There's only so much dancing you can put on TV before people are confused.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of dancing. It's for our eyes only.
I think it's cut in such a way so we look a little less Muppety than we actually are.
Yeah,
which is probably a good thing.
That was the big surprise from the production company. They're like, it took them like 2 weeks to realize that was just how we were.
They thought it was an act.
Like people thought that was just like what, maybe they're just excited to be on TV or they have a show coming out. It's like, no. Like, this is actually what we do.
I think from the two episodes that I've watched,
Yeah,
two episodes that I've watched, I was hoping that there was going to be much more dancing because I knew that was your personality, right?
Dance.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you ever watch one of my episodes, you'll realize that I'm a little kooky too, even though it doesn't come across right now, but it definitely is who I actually am. I know this of myself, right? I may be a really big guy, but I'm happy most of the time. And if you're happy, you should show it.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
You know it, dance, but
So from my research, I see that is consistent throughout your lives on the internet. That you have a tendency to dance, and you should just dance.
We do. We plan on dancing right now after this episode, after this call.
After this interview. But just to thank you once again, really, ladies, thank you very much for taking the time. I know it was a big effort to get together, and this has been really great, and I can't wait to get it out there. This is going to be coming out. I'll send you guys a copy of it relatively soon, and with a quick edit and some music and some other things. I'll edit in a little snippet of your pilot, I guess, the trailer.
Yeah.
Right, and that'll be basically it. But let me wrap it up and say thanks everybody for coming. I'm Jerome from B.F.A.M Cooking, and those ladies are from Courageous Cook. Oh my God! And that is Makenna and Kendall. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for having us. Take care.
Thanks.
bye.